The knife sliced through the canvas like a lover's final whisper, ripping the painted Isaiah's throat in two. Nathaniel's hand trembled, the blade clattering to the hardwood floor of his Brooklyn loft, where the East River's distant hum mocked the silence. "You were my masterpiece," he choked out, blood from a shallow cut on his palm mixing with the dripping oils, turning the ruined portrait into a battlefield of crimson and cerulean. It had started 3 years ago, on a sweltering July afternoon in 2022, when New York City's heat wave turned the sidewalks into frying pans and the subways into sweatboxes. Nathaniel Hayes, 28 and already jaded from too many gallery rejections, had dragged his easel to Washington Square Park, desperate for inspiration amid the tourists and buskers. He was sketching the arch's stone curves when a shadow fell over his page. A lithe figure in faded Levi's and a threadbare Ramones tee, blocking the sun like a goddamn eclipse. "Yo, you gonna capture that pigeon shit on the arch? Or you aiming higher?" The voice was smooth as bourbon, laced with that Harlem edge that made Nathaniel's pulse stutter. He looked up, and there was Isaiah Brooks, 25 with skin like polished mahogany, curls wild as if he'd just rolled out of a dream, and eyes. God, those eyes. Deep brown pools flecked with gold, holding secrets and fire in equal measure. Nathaniel laughed, a rusty sound he hadn't heard from himself in months. Higher, always higher. But the pigeons got character. He tilted his head, pencil hovering. You've got something. Mind if I? Isaiah dropped onto the bench beside him, legs sprawling like he owned the park. "Shoot your shot, artist boy. But if I end up looking like Picasso's nightmare, we're fighting." That grin, crooked, challenging, hooked Nathaniel deeper than any line he'd ever drawn. By sunset, the sketch was half finished. Isaiah's profile sharp against the arch, a half-smile playing on lips that begged to be painted in vermilion. They talked easy, electric. Isaiah was a barista at a queer-owned spot in the village, slinging lattes by day and dreaming of screenwriting by night. Grew up in foster homes after his mom OD'd when he was 12. Bounced around until he aged out at 18. "New York's my anchor," he said, tracing the park's fountain with his gaze. "Sinks or swims, you know?" Nathaniel nodded, sharing scraps of his own wreckage. Small-town Ohio boy, outed at 16 by a jealous ex, parents who prayed the gay away until he fled to the city at 20. Art school loans choking him, a string of hookups that left him hollow. "This city's a beast," Nathaniel admitted, packing his sketchbook. "But beasts can be tamed." Isaiah's laugh boomed. "Tamed? Nah, you ride 'em or get eaten." He scribbled his number on the sketch's margin. "Call me when you finish. I want to see if I look as fly as I feel." That night, in his cramped Bushwick apartment, walls papered with half-finished oils and eviction notices, Nathaniel couldn't sleep. He pulled out the sketch, added shadows to Isaiah's jaw, deepened the gold in his eyes. By dawn, it was more than a drawing. It was a confession. He texted, "Finished. Coffee?" Their first date was at Isaiah's cafe, after closing. The air smelled of espresso and rain-damp concrete as they perched on milk crates behind the dumpster, sharing a joint and stories that peeled back layers. Isaiah confessed his script idea, a queer coming-of-age flick set in the projects, raw and unapologetic. Nathaniel talked Rothko and Basquiat how color could scream what words couldn't. When Isaiah leaned in, their kiss tasted like weed and possibility, slow burning under the sodium streetlights. Weeks blurred into a rhythm. Stolen mornings in Nathaniel's loft, where sunlight slanted through grimy windows onto tangled sheets. Isaiah posing nude on the fire escape, cigarette dangling from lazy fingers, while Nathaniel captured the curve of his spine in charcoal strokes. "You're turning me into art?" Isaiah murmured one afternoon, tracing the fresh tattoo on Nathaniel's forearm, a tiny constellation from Isaiah's birth chart. "What if I fade?" "You won't," Nathaniel promised, sealing it with a kiss that bruised. But doubt flickered even then. Isaiah's phone buzzed too often. Late-night texts he silenced with a sheepish grin. "Old friends," he'd say, but his eyes darted like a cornered fox. Fall arrived with amber leaves carpeting the parks, and their love deepened into something fierce. Halloween in the village. They dressed as Warhol and one of his factory boys, Isaiah, in silver lame that clung like a second skin. At a warehouse party in Chelsea, bass thumping through veins thick as tar, they danced until sweat-slicked and breathless. In a shadowed corner, Isaiah dropped to one knee. Not a proposal, but a vow. "You're my color, Nate. The one that bleeds through everything else." Nathaniel pulled him up, hearts hammering in sync. "Then paint me back. Every scar." By Thanksgiving, Isaiah had all but moved in. The loft transformed. Isaiah's vinyl collection stacked against exposed brick, scripts scattered like autumn confetti. Nathaniel's canvases multiplied, portraits of Isaiah laughing over burnt pancakes, Isaiah asleep with city lights etching his lashes, Isaiah mid-rant about Hollywood's whitewashed queer stories. Each one left a mark. A faint bruise from where Isaiah had playfully nipped his neck during a session. A smudge of Isaiah's cologne lingering on the linen. But cracks spiderwebbed. Isaiah's friends became late nights at writing meetups, returning with whiskey on his breath and excuses thinner than the winter chill. Nathaniel buried it in brushstrokes, layering Isaiah's face over his doubts. "Trust the art," he whispered to his reflection one frostbitten morning, as Isaiah showered away the night's ghosts. Christmas Eve, snow blanketing the bridges like powdered sugar, they hosted a ragtag dinner. Queer artists, barflies, a trans violinist named Lena who played carols with a punk twist. Isaiah raised a glass of cheap Merlot. "To us, the beautiful messes." His foot hooked Nathaniel's under the table, a secret anchor. Later, wrapped in thrift store scarves on the rooftop, Brooklyn's lights a glittering sea below, Nathaniel unveiled his gift. A massive canvas, Isaiah's full body rendered in swirling oils. Ebony skin glowing against a storm-tossed skyline, eyes fierce as thunder. "You're my New York," Nathaniel said, voice cracking. Isaiah's fingers ghosted the surface. "Reverent. This is me but more. You see the shit I hide." He pulled Nathaniel close, their breaths mingling in the cold. "I love you, Nate. More than scripts. More than this city chewing me up." The kiss was salt and pine, promises sealed against the wind. But as fireworks cracked over the river, distant booms echoing their pulse, Isaiah's phone lit up in his pocket. He silenced it, but Nathaniel caught the name. Marcus. A ghost from the past or something sharper. The new year dawned with hangovers and hope. January's gray slush mirrored Nathaniel's mood as he prepped for his first solo show at a tiny Soho gallery. Isaiah was his muse, his marketer, hyping sketches on Instagram to a growing flock of followers. "You're gonna kill it," Isaiah said, pinning a boutonniere of dried eucalyptus to Nathaniel's lapel on opening night. "And I'll be front row, ugly crying." The gallery buzzed. Critics in black turtlenecks, collectors with checkbooks itching. Nathaniel's series, Marks of Memory, dominated the white walls. 12 portraits, all Isaiah, each layer revealing vulnerability beneath bravado. Whispers rippled, raw, intimate, queer as fuck. Isaiah hovered like a shadow, pride swelling his chest. But when a silver-haired curator cornered him, "Your artist's got fire. What's your story?" Isaiah's smile tightened. "Just the spark," he deflected, slipping into the crowd. By night's end, red dots bloomed like kisses. Nathaniel, champagne-flushed, found Isaiah in the back alley, snow flurrying soft. "We did it," he gasped, pulling him into a victory spin. Isaiah's laugh was genuine, but his eyes held a storm. "You did it. I'm just the pretty face." He kissed Nathaniel hard, possessive, as if erasing the room's eyes. But later, in the loft as they catalogued sales, enough to cover rent for months, Isaiah's phone buzzed again. "Marcus. Tonight? Missed that fire." Nathaniel pretended not to see. "Who's up for diner fries at 2 a.m.? Isaiah pocketed it. "Hell yeah. My treat." February's Valentine's was syrup sweet. Rooftop picnic under strung lights, Isaiah reciting bad poetry from a script page, Nathaniel sketching hearts in the condensation on their wine glasses. "You're my plot twist," Isaiah teased, feeding him chocolate-dipped strawberries. The one that saves the whole damn story. But March brought tempests. Isaiah's meetups stretched into dawns, his scripts gathering dust. Nathaniel's success snowballed, commissions from L.A., a feature in Out magazine, but isolation crept in. One rainy Tuesday, coming home early from a studio visit, Nathaniel found the loft empty, Isaiah's side of the bed cold. A note. Late-night brainstorm. Love you. The canvas on the easel stared back. Isaiah's eyes, half-painted, accusatory. Nathaniel picked up the brush, but his hand shook. The mark was there, indelible. A faint lipstick smear on the collar Isaiah had worn home last week, dismissed as a hug from a castmate. He texted, "Everything good?" Isaiah's reply, "Always with you. Home soon." But soon stretched into suspicion, the first fracture in their masterpiece. April bloomed with cherry blossoms along the Hudson, but Nathaniel's world wilted under the weight of unspoken thorns. He threw himself into a new series, Fractured Frames, portraits of queer icons reimagined through broken glass. But Isaiah haunted every stroke, his absence a negative space that bled through. Nights alone in the loft, the hum of the fridge mocking him, Nathaniel scrolled Isaiah's Instagram. Cryptic quotes about chasing dreams, overlaid on cityscapes. Comments from faceless accounts with heart eyes emojis. "You're overthinking?" Lena warned over beers at a dive in the East Village, her violin case propped like a shield. "Isaiah's a flirt, but he's yours. City's full of temptations. Doesn't mean he bites." Nathaniel nursed his IPA, foam bitter as doubt. "It's the silences. Like he's editing me out of his script." Lena squeezed his knee. "Talk to him, dummy. Art's your language. Words are his." That weekend, they escaped to Fire Island for a queer artist's retreat. Pine-scented air, bonfires on the beach, bodies swaying to house music under stars thick as paint splatters. Isaiah arrived late, sand in his curls, apology laced with that grin. Traffic from the city was a bitch. They claimed a dune bungalow, waves crashing like applause. Nights blurred. Skinny dipping in the surf, Isaiah's laughter echoing as they chased phosphorescent foam. Mornings tangled in salt-stiff sheets, Nathaniel tracing the constellation tattoo on Isaiah's ribs, the one matching his own. "This is us," Nathaniel murmured, lips brushing skin. "Stars that don't fade." Isaiah's eyes darkened, hand cupping Nathaniel's jaw. "Some stars burn out, Nate. But ours? Supernova shit." He rolled them over, love-making slow and deliberate, as if mapping every inch to memory. Afterward, breathless, Isaiah confessed fragments. The script he'd pitched to a producer, a queer drama about foster kids finding family. "It's personal. Scary as hell." Nathaniel propped on an elbow, paint-flecked fingers combing Isaiah's curls. "Show it to me." Isaiah hesitated, then pulled a battered notebook from his bag. Pages yellowed, words raw. Dialogues laced with pain, redemption arcs that mirrored their own. "It's rough. Like me." "It's brilliant," Nathaniel said, voice thick. "Like you." They revised together on the porch swing, sunset gilding the pages, laughter sealing edits with kisses. Back in Brooklyn, momentum built. Isaiah landed a table read for his script at an indie theater in Tribeca, small, but buzzing with scouts. Nathaniel catered with takeout from their favorite halal cart, toasting with Prosecco. To breakthroughs, Isaiah clinked glasses, eyes shining. "To us, couldn't write without your fire." But May's heat wave returned, sticky and suffocating, mirroring the tension coiling in Nathaniel's gut. Isaiah's rehearsals ran late, texts sparse, running lines. "Miss you." One humid Thursday, Nathaniel caved, hailed a cab to the theater, bouquet of wildflowers wilting in his lap like hope. The stage door ajar, laughter spilling out. Nathaniel slipped in, shadows cloaking him. On stage, Isaiah rehearsed a scene. Intimate, charged with his co-lead, Marcus. Tall, chiseled, with a jaw like carved marble and a laugh that rumbled low. Marcus, the name from the texts. They ran lines. A kiss scripted, lingering too long, hands roaming with actor's license. But Isaiah's eyes, those gold-flecked depths, held heat beyond the page. When the director called cut, Marcus pulled Isaiah aside, murmuring something that made him flush, their foreheads touching in a way that twisted Nathaniel's heart like a rag. He fled before they saw, flowers crushed in his fist, thorns drawing blood. Back in the loft, he hurled the bouquet at the wall, petals exploding like shrapnel. The current canvas, Isaiah mid-laugh half-sketched, mocked him. He grabbed the palette knife, but stopped, breath ragged. Not yet. Isaiah came home at 3 a.m., reeking of gin and stage smoke. "Babe, you up?" He found Nathaniel on the couch, sketchbook open to a blank page, eyes red-rimmed. "Rehearsal run long?" Nathaniel's voice was even a lie. Isaiah deflated, dropping his bag. "Yeah, intense scene. Marcus, he's method, you know? Pushes boundaries." He knelt, hands on Nathaniel's thighs. "But it's just acting. You're my reality." The kiss was apology and absolution, but Nathaniel tasted ash. He pulled back. Boundaries, right? Like not answering texts from him at midnight. Isaiah's face crumpled. "What? Nate? I saw the phone. Weeks ago. And tonight. The way you looked at him." Words tumbled, jagged. "Am I just your muse? You're a pretty lie." Isaiah recoiled, hurt flashing. "Fuck no. Marcus is complicated. Old hookup from before us. But that's ancient. The texts, harmless shit. Catching up." He cupped Nathaniel's face, desperate. "I love you. This us is real." They talked until dawn, voices raw, tears salting coffee. Isaiah swore off after-hours contact, deleted the thread. "No more shadows," he vowed, sealing it with a new tattoo. Their initials intertwined on his wrist, needle buzzing like a promise. June unfurled with pride flags whipping in parades, rainbow confetti carpeting the streets. They marched hand in hand down Fifth Avenue, Isaiah's script pinned to a float like a banner. Nathaniel's new show sold out at a midtown gallery. Critics raving about the queer gaze reborn. Champagne flowed at the after-party, toasts toasting their intertwined fates. But July's dog days dug deeper. Isaiah's rehearsals intensified, the play's run looming. Late one night, post-performance drinks at a speakeasy in the Bowery. Nathaniel waited alone at the bar, nursing a Manhattan. Isaiah arrived disheveled, Marcus in tow, arms slung casual over Isaiah's shoulder. "Nate, meet the beast himself." Marcus's handshake was firm, eyes appraising. "Heard your work's killer." Isaiah won't shut up about it. Charm offensive, but Nathaniel saw the undercurrent. The way Marcus's thumb brushed Isaiah's nape, proprietary. The evening soured. Shots turning sloppy, Marcus regaling with tales of past flings. Isaiah laughing too loud, too loose. In the cab home, silence thick as fog. "He's just a colleague," Isaiah slurred, head on Nathaniel's shoulder. "Colleagues don't touch like that." Nathaniel's whisper cut. Isaiah's eyes welled. "I'm sorry. It's nothing. Swear." Forgiveness was a habit now, painted over cracks. August brought heat lightning over the river, storms that shook the loft's bones. Nathaniel started a new portrait. Isaiah as Icarus, wings of wax and want, plummeting toward a sea of forgotten lovers. "For the show," he lied when Isaiah posed, vulnerable under the skylight. "You're seeing ghosts," Isaiah said softly, fingers tracing the canvas's edges. "Let me chase them away." That night, they made love like atonement. Fierce, unhurried, bodies mapping forgiveness in bites and gasps. Afterward, curled against the window, city lights fracturing on sweat-slick skin, Isaiah whispered, "I can't lose this." "Lose you." "You won't." Nathaniel lied back, heart a hollow drum. September's equinox equaled their unease. Isaiah's play opened to mixed reviews, praised for grit, critiqued for uneven chemistry. Chemistry, the word festered. Cast party at a loft in Williamsburg. Nathaniel arrived late, weaving through bodies pulsing to synthwave. He found Isaiah in a corner booth, Marcus's lips brushing his ear, hand low on his back. The world tilted. Nathaniel stormed out, rain-slick streets blurring his vision. Home, he locked the door, palette knife in hand. The Icarus canvas waited, Isaiah's fall unfinished. When Isaiah returned, keys jingling like accusations, Nathaniel was drunk on turpentine fumes, knife hovering. "Who's the villain in your script now?" Isaiah froze, rain dripping from his jacket. "Nate." "What the? You and him. How long?" The knife slashed, not deep, just enough to scar the wing. Isaiah lunged, wrenching it away. "Stop. It's not fuck Marcus means nothing. It's you. Always." Lies layered like varnish cracking under pressure. They screamed until hoarse. Accusations flying like flung paint. Isaiah confessed. Kisses after curtain call. Just once. Hands that wandered too far. "I was scared. The play, the pressure. I fucked up." Nathaniel's laugh was broken glass. "Scared of us? Of this?" He gestured to the walls, alive with their history. Isaiah sank to the floor, head in hands. "I'm poison, Nate. Foster kid bullshit. Abandonment wired in. But I want to be better. For you." Dawn found them exhausted, arms entwined on the rug. Apologies whispered into hair. "Fix it," Nathaniel said, voice steel wrapped in silk. "Or we're done." Isaiah nodded, tears carving tracks. "I will. Paint me worthy." But the mark lingered, indelible. A shadow on the canvas, waiting to consume. October's chill wrapped Brooklyn in fog, muting the city's roar to a conspiratorial hush. Nathaniel's studio became a bunker. Doors bolted, canvases veiled like corpses. He painted feverishly. Not Isaiah, but abstractions of rage. Swirls of cadmium red and ultramarine, fists of color punching through linen. The Icarus portrait hung unfinished in the corner, a sentinel of what-ifs. Isaiah tried. God, he tried. Mornings started with coffee in bed. Scripted apologies recited like lines. "I choose you." Every day. He quit the after-party scene, blocked Marcus's number, even burned the play's program in the sink. A theatrical purge. "No more roles," he vowed. Ashes swirling down the drain like shed skin. They rebuilt in fragments. Movie nights on the fire escape, binging Moonlight and Brokeback, dissecting heartbreaks over popcorn. Isaiah read from his revised script. A new ending, where the lovers forgive, flawed but whole. "Like us," he said, pencil between teeth, eyes hopeful. Nathaniel wanted to believe. In the quiet hours when Isaiah slept curled against him, breath steady as a metronome, he traced the tattoos linking their skins, the constellations, the initials, and whispered prayers to deities he didn't trust. But doubt was a persistent stain, seeping through every touch. November's elections loomed, the country fracturing along old lines, mirroring their private war. Protests clogged Union Square, rainbow flags waving defiant beside Black Lives Matter banners. Nathaniel dragged Isaiah to a rally, hands linked in the crush. "This is us," he shouted over chants. "Fighting for what's real." Isaiah squeezed back, fierce. "Damn right." That night, fueled by adrenaline, they made love on the living room floor, urgent, reclaiming, the city's pulse echoing their own. But December's solstice brought relapse. Isaiah's agent landed him a callback for a Netflix pilot, Queer Leads, LA shoot. "It's huge," he bubbled over takeout falafel, eyes alight. 3 months, tops. "We can FaceTime visits." Nathaniel's fork stilled. LA? Marcus's turf. Isaiah's joy dimmed. "He's not. It's not about him. This is my shot." "Your shot at running?" The words escaped, venomous. Isaiah shoved his plate. "Jesus, Nate. Can't I have this without the handcuffs?" The fight erupted. Plates clattering, voices ricocheting off brick. "You think I'm holding you?" Nathaniel yelled. "I'm holding us together." Isaiah's face twisted. "Maybe there's no us without chains." He stormed out, door slamming like a guillotine. Hours later, he returned, drenched, defeated. Notebook sodden in his arms. "I turned it down." For you. For this. They collapsed into bed, bodies a barricade against the cold. But the fracture widened, invisible fault lines. January 2025 hit like a hangover. Gray skies, resolutions crumbling. Nathaniel's gallery show, bleeding edges. Open to acclaim. Canvases of queer resilience selling for 5 figures. Critics gushed. Hayes captures the ache of love's underbelly. Isaiah stood beaming in the crowd, but his applause felt performative, a role he'd mastered. Post-opening, at a loft party in Dumbo, success soured to sabotage. Champagne flowed, admirers orbiting Nathaniel like satellites. Isaiah hovered on the fringes, nursing a seltzer, until Marcus appeared. Uninvited, magnetic, in a tailored blazer that screamed Hollywood reject. "How've you been, star?" Marcus purred, clinking glasses with Isaiah, ignoring Nathaniel's glare. Isaiah stiffened but didn't pull away. "Surviving. You. Thriving. That pilot? Greenlit. Wish you were there." His hand grazed Isaiah's arm, lingering. Nathaniel watched, rooted, as Isaiah's resolve cracked. A shared glance, too intimate, pulling them into a shadowed alcove. Laughter drifted out, muffled but mocking. He followed, heart hammering, peering through the beaded curtain. Marcus's mouth on Isaiah's, hands fisting his shirt, Isaiah yielding. Not fighting, not fleeing. Betrayal bloomed, hot and immediate. Nathaniel burst in, glass shattering underfoot. "Get the fuck off him." Chaos. Marcus stumbling back, smirking. "Whoa, easy, Picasso." Isaiah whirled, lipstick smeared, horror dawning. "Nate, wait!" But Nathaniel was gone, weaving through the party like a ghost, Brooklyn Bridge lights blurring through tears. The loft welcomed him cold. Empty bottles, unfinished oils mocking his solitude. Isaiah pounded the door at midnight. "Open up, please." Nathaniel did, knife in hand, not for harm but ritual. "Watch." He slashed the Icarus canvas, Isaiah's face unraveling in ribbons. "This is us." Shredded. Isaiah crumpled, sliding down the wall. "I didn't mean it was a mistake. Again. I'm weak, Nate. But I love you. Love." Nathaniel's laugh was hollow. "Love doesn't fuck the ghost in the corner." They talked or raged until the city's 5 a.m. hush. Isaiah confessed. The pull of old patterns, Marcus's whispers of what if, the terror of settling when dreams dangled. "I sabotage because I don't deserve this." "You." Nathaniel's chest caved. "Then go. Be free." Isaiah shook his head, tears carving rivers. "No. I fight for us." He stayed, sleeping on the couch, a penitent shadow. February thawed the ice, but not the wound. Therapy sessions, joint, grueling, peeled scabs. Isaiah's abandonment scars, Nathaniel's fear of invisibility. "We're both artists," the counselor said, "crafting narratives that trap us." Spring equinox brought green shoots, tentative. Isaiah rewrote his script. Final act. Betrayal redeemed through truth, not perfection. Nathaniel started a diptych. 2 faces, scarred but aligned, marks of survival. April showers washed the streets, and with them, a fragile peace. They vacationed upstate. Catskills cabin, no signal, just loons calling over mist-shrouded lakes. Days hiking trails thick with ferns, nights by the fire, stories spun from embers. "Remember our first sketch?" Isaiah asked, head on Nathaniel's lap. "Park bench, pigeon shit and promises." Nathaniel smiled, fingers in curls. Isaiah sat up, serious. "I want a sequel. Real one. Move in fully. No ghosts." Nathaniel's breath caught. "You mean it." Every stroke. The kiss was renewal, soft as dawn. May's warmth coaxed them to Coney Island, boardwalk cotton candy. Ferris wheel confessions. At the top, city sprawling below, Isaiah pulled a ring from his pocket. Not diamond, but silver band etched with their constellation. Not marriage, yet, but commitment. Paint our future. Tears pricked. Yes. June's pride was triumphant. They led afloat, Isaiah's script banners fluttering, Nathaniel's murals projected on screens. The crowd roared, love a tide lifting them. But July's heat cracked the facade. Isaiah's agent circled back, the LA gig, now with script consultation. 1 month, he pleaded. Prove I can do this without breaking. Nathaniel relented. Airport drop-off a knot in his throat. Call every night. I will. The hug lingered. Then Isaiah was gone. Planes slicing skyward. August's silence echoed. Texts came, miss you. Rehearsals killer. But gaps yawned. Missed calls, vague excuses. Nathaniel painted alone. A new series. Absences. Voids where lovers should be. One humid night. A wrong number call. Marcus's voice. Slurred. Is that you? Fuck, man, last night was. Line dead. Nathaniel's world imploded. He booked the red-eye, landing in LAX heat haze. Hotel lobby. Isaiah. Rumpled from a nap. Eyes widening. Nate? What? Caught the show? Nathaniel thrust the phone recording, voicemail saved. Damning. Isaiah paled. It's not God, I slipped. One drink, old habits. Slipped. Nathaniel's voice broke. You leaped. The lobby blurred. Raised voices drawing stares. Isaiah grabbed his arm. Come on, room. Talk. Hotel room. King bed unmade. Script pages scattered. A stranger's cologne faint. How many? Nathaniel demanded, pacing. Twice. Stupid. Meaningless. Isaiah's shoulders slumped. I thought distance would test me. Failed. Pain lanced. You tested us. And we shattered. Isaiah fell to knees. Don't end it. Please. I'm yours, broken. But yours. Nathaniel's hand hovered. Then dropped. Fix yourself first. Alone. He left at dawn. Cab to the airport. Heart a canvas scraped bare. Back in Brooklyn, September's leaves fell like accusations. Nathaniel burned the diptych. Ashes a pyre. Solo shows sold out, but joy was ash. Lena dragged him to bars. Therapy unearthed rage turned inward. October's gales howled. Isaiah's texts. I'm in rehab. For real. Miss you. Nathaniel read. Deleted. Repeated. November elections passed in a blur. Country divided. His heart moored. December solstice. A knock. Isaiah. Gaunt but clear-eyed. Script in hand. Finished. Dedicated. To Nate, who taught me to rewrite. Forgive. Isaiah whispered. Not yet. Nathaniel said, door ajar. But maybe. The mark remained, but so did the crave. January 2026 dawned brittle. Frost etching the loft's windows like accusations frozen in time. Nathaniel's days dissolved into routine. Dawn runs along the promenade, coffee at the corner bodega where the owner, Mr. Ruiz, a stoic Dominican with a soft spot for strays, slipped him extra plantains. Amor heals, mijo, he'd say, waving off payment. Afternoons bled into canvas after canvas, his exile series. Figures adrift in urban seas, backs turned but yearning, colors muted to grays and bruised indigos. Isaiah's rehab stints came in waves, 30 days in Queens, then outpatient in Harlem, each check-in a tightrope of hope and hurt. Voicemails piled. Wrote a scene today about falling. You're the net. Nathaniel listened in the dark, thumb hovering over reply, then silence. Friends rallied. Lena's violin serenades on stoops, a queer writing circle where Nathaniel sketched prompts instead of words. You're grieving? The facilitator, a non-binary poet named Jax, said over herbal tea. But grief births beauty. February's Valentines mocked with cards in shop windows. Pinks and reds like fresh wounds. Nathaniel burned his. Ashes stirred into a new palette. Charcoals of loss, gilded with fool's gold. A commission arrived, a mural for a pride center in Chelsea. Queer histories writ large. He poured Isaiah into it. Shadows of Stonewall lovers, resilient arcs echoing their own. Isaiah showed up unannounced mid-sketch. Paint splattered overalls his armor. Heard about the mural. Can I? Watch. Eyes hollowed by withdrawal but steady. Nathaniel's brush paused. No posing. Just B. They worked in tandem. Isaiah hauling ladders, mixing pigments, silences companionable as old lovers. One dusk, as sunlight slanted gold, Isaiah murmured, I finished the script. Full circle, betrayal, but redemption's earned, not gifted. Read it, Nathaniel said, wiping hands on rags. Under the mural's curve, faces emerging from plaster. Isaiah's voice cracked the air. Monologues of fracture, dialogues of mending. The protagonist, a screenwriter haunted by flings, confronts his artist love. You painted my chaos into constellations. I scattered them, but stars reform, brighter if you let them. Tears tracked Nathaniel's cheeks. It's us. Isaiah knelt, script discarded. Let me reform. No shortcuts. The kiss was tentative, salt and turpentine, then deepening, a dam breaking. They didn't go further. Boundaries rebuilt brick by brick. March's thaw mirrored their tentative bloom. Joint therapy. Dissecting patterns. Isaiah owning his chase, the high cycle. Nathaniel his codependent canvas. You're not my savior, Isaiah said one session. Hand in Nathaniel's. Partner. Equal strokes. April showers brought green bursts. Rooftop garden planted. Basil and tomatoes twining like fingers. Isaiah's script sold to a indie studio, queer director attached. Callback in May. He shared over stir-fry, chopsticks clacking nerves. Proud, Nathaniel said, meaning it. Go alone this time. Isaiah's grin flashed. Learned that lesson. May's callback was virtual. Isaiah pacing the loft, camera rolling, charisma crackling. Offer came a week later. Lead writer, 6-month LA arc with you? He asked, eyes pleading. Nathaniel weighed it. Trust a muscle atrophied but twitching. Yes, but hotel, not his couch. Isaiah hooped, spinning him in a victory dance. Our sequel. June's pride was theirs. Mural unveiled to cheers. Isaiah's name on the program. Nathaniel's arm around his waist as confetti rained. That night, on the float's edge, Isaiah whispered, Marked forever? Crave the repaint? Nathaniel replied, sealing with a kiss amid fireworks. LA awaited, palm-shaded sprawl, a sublet in Silver Lake with canyon views. July's heat was dry, relentless, but their rhythm held. Isaiah's writer's room by day, Nathaniel's pop-up studio in a WeHo gallery. Evenings, sunset hikes in Griffith Park, scripts read under observatory stars. But August's smog choked doubts awake. Isaiah's late nights, brainstorm sessions, echoed old ghosts. A cast party invite, Marcus directing a table read. Professional, Isaiah swore. You come. Nathaniel declined, painting alone. A triptych of temptation, figures teetering on ledges. Isaiah returned buzzed, not drunk. Progress but cologne clung. Foreign. Saw him? Nathaniel asked, brush midair. Isaiah deflated. Yeah. Awkward hi-bye. Nothing. The nothing festered. September's equinox equaled unease. Isaiah's script revisions pulling him into vortexes. Nathaniel's solo show in Venice Beach drawing admirers. Flirty gallerist, lingering touches. Just networking, he deflected, guilt mirroring Isaiah's. One canyon dusk, post-hike, sweat cooling. They confronted. We're both slipping. Nathaniel admitted, water bottle passed like a truce. Isaiah nodded, curls damp. Fears the real betrayer. Of losing this. They vowed vigilance, weekly check-ins, no solo parties. October's Halloween. Dressed as each other. Isaiah in paint-smeared smock, Nathaniel in script-strewn tee, laughing at the mirror's absurdity. November's Thanksgiving. Virtual with families. Isaiah's chosen aunties in Harlem. Nathaniel's estranged folks in Ohio. Polite Zoom toasts masking chasms. We're building, Isaiah said later. Turkey leftovers warming laps. Brick queer home. December's awards season buzzed. Isaiah's script shortlisted for an indie nod. Gala in Hollywood, red carpet nerves. Nathaniel's rented tux ill-fitting but proud. Cameras flashed. Questions probed. The muse behind the words? Isaiah pulled Nathaniel close. Partner. Co-creator. Marcus lurked in the crowd, nominee for another project, eyes lingering. Post-ceremony bar, he cornered Isaiah. Congrats, we make magic, huh? Isaiah stiffened. Past tense. I'm taken. Nathaniel, overhearing, stepped in, hand possessive on Isaiah's back. Thoroughly. Marcus smirked, retreating, but the encounter lingered. A barb. January 2027. Win for Isaiah. Emerging Voice Award. Speech choking. To the one who saw my marks and craved more. Nathaniel in the audience. Tears blurring lights. Back in Brooklyn, February. LA stint ended. They reclaimed the loft. Dust bunnies banished. New easel erected. Spring's renewal. Joint project. A graphic novel. Isaiah's words. Nathaniel's art. Queer odyssey of two artists navigating betrayal's bay. But April's tax season unearthed emails. Isaiah's inbox. Archived. Flirty threads with a co-writer. Miss our sparks. Research, Isaiah claimed, deleting in panic. For the rom-com beat. Nathaniel's trust fractured anew. Sparks? Or fire? Fight. Loft a battlefield, canvases toppled. I told you. Patterns die hard, Isaiah yelled. Then kill 'em solo. Nathaniel packed a bag. Crash at Lena's. May's pride. Separate floats. Aching distance. June solstice. Isaiah's intervention. Sober coach. AA meetings. Raw journal pages left on the stoop. I crave you, not the chaos. Nathaniel read. Returned. Earn the canvas. July's heat wave tested. Isaiah clean, consistent. Morning runs together, vulnerability voiced. August's beach trip to the Hamptons, borrowed cottage, waves lapping apologies. September's equinox. Reconciliation dinner, rooftop under harvest moon. I'm ready, Isaiah said. Ring reforged, gold now, etched deeper. Marry the mess? Nathaniel's yes was a brushstroke, bold. October's gales. Wedding plans whispered, small, queer, Brooklyn synagogue with rooftop vows. November's chill. Bachelor party. Lena's orchestra. Toasts to resilience. December solstice. Ceremony under strung lights. Vows exchanged. Your marked scar. But I crave the repaint. Eternal. Honeymoon in Provincetown, dunes and drag shows, bodies rediscovered. But January's return. A letter Marcus. Contrite. I stirred shit. Sorry. He's yours. Isaiah burned it, but doubt flickered. February's anniversary. Gala for Nathaniel's retrospective. All portraits. Isaiah central. Speech. Love's the ultimate mark. Enduring, evolving. Post-party, loft aglow, they dance slow to Coltrane. Crave me still, Isaiah murmured. Always, Nathaniel breathed. Yet March's whisper. Isaiah's phone buzzed. Unknown. Remember Berlin? Our secret. The high tide crested, betrayal's wave, crashing. April 2027's rains lashed Brooklyn like judgment, turning gutters to rivers of regret. The text burned in Nathaniel's palm, Berlin? Our secret. A timestamp from 2 years back, pre them, but the sender's audacity post-vows twisted it fresh. He confronted Isaiah over dawn coffee, screen thrust like evidence. Isaiah's face drained. Who? Fuck. He scrolled, paling. X from Europe. Random drunk dial. Ignore it. Ignore. Nathaniel's voice rose, mug slamming. After everything. Rehab. Rings. Eternal? Isaiah reached, desperate. It's noise, Nate. White noise from a dead past. But the dam cracked. Accusations cascading. Old wounds ripped wide. Berlin. Nathaniel spat. What else buried? Nothing. Isaiah's shout echoed. I bared it all, Marcus, the slips. This? Vapor. Therapy emergency. Counselor probing. Triggers are teachers. What does this echo? Fear, Nathaniel admitted, Isaiah nodding. Of being the fool in your plot. Isaiah's hand trembled in his. You're the hero. My rewrite. May's memorial for a mutual friend. Drag queen lost to overdose. Grounded them. Eulogy on Chosen Family, Fragility. At the after-vigil, candlelit in McCarran Park, Isaiah whispered, "No secrets, ever." June's pride. Reunited on the float, hands linked defiant, murals and scripts entwined. But July's heat unearthed more. Isaiah's journal, page to an entry, crave the rush, even if it kills us. Dated last month. Journaling the work, Isaiah explained, voice small. Exposing the demon, not feeding it. Nathaniel searched his eyes, gold flecks honest. Expose with me, no solos. Vow renewed. Transparency pact, phones open, journals shared. August's beach escape. Rockaway, waves erasing footprints. They skinny dipped at twilight, bodies buoyant. This, Isaiah gasped, salt stung, is my high. September's harvest. Graphic novel launched. Sold out signing at books are magic. Fans queuing for dual signatures. Reviews raved. A testament to love's labor, scarred, sacred. October's foliage turned fiery, mirroring their rekindling. Wedding anniversary. Vow renewal. Just them on the bridge at dawn. Rings polished, promises repainted. Marks fade, Nathaniel said, wind whipping. Hearts endure. November's chill brought Isaiah's big break. Script greenlit for series, New York shoot. Stay? He asked, callback nerves alight. Always, Nathaniel echoed, loft their anchor. December solstice. Rap party buzz, no ghosts invited. January 2028. Production rolled, Isaiah directing episodes, Nathaniel consulting sets, queer visions visualized. But February's frostbit. Co-star flirtations? Isaiah shutting them down. But whispers reached Nathaniel, he's changed? Or chained? Jealousy nipped. Therapy tamed it. March's spring. Mural tour. Their story? Citywide. Dialogues painted. April showers. Anniversary trip to Ohio. Nathaniel's folks. Thawed by time. Toasting our boy and his light. Isaiah's charm melted ice. Family photos framed anew. May's bloom. Isaiah's series premieres. Emmy's buzz. Critics hailing authentic queer ache. June's pride. Float crowned. Them kings of the parade. July's heat. Temptation tests. A Berlin ex at a con. Spilling secrets to tabloids. Headlines scream. Scribe's scandalous past. Storm hits. Paparazzi at the loft. Calls flooding. Isaiah faces it. Presser raw. Past is prologue. My present. Unbreakable. Nathaniel stands beside, hand firm. We own our marks. August's backlash fades to acclaim. Series surges. Authenticity lauded. September's equinox. Book deal for their memoir-graphic hybrid. Marked cravings. October's gales. Health scare. Isaiah's checkup flags early burnout. Therapy deepens to wellness retreats. November's gratitude. Small circle Thanksgiving. Toasts to survival. December solstice. Under lights they dance, slow, scarred, whole. Crave the repaint? Isaiah asks. Endlessly, Nathaniel replies. January 2029. Series renewed. Mural permanent in MoMA. February's love. Vow tattoo. Heart repainted. Intertwined. March's renewal. Foster mentoring. Isaiah's old homes. Nathaniel's art classes for at-risk youth. April's rains. Baby's breath. Adoption papers signed. A chosen child on horizon. May's miracle. First placement. A 5-year-old boy, Jamal, curls like Isaiah's, eyes wide as Nathaniel's canvases. June's family. Pride with tiny flags, Jamal on shoulders. July's heat. Challenges, nights Jamal cries abandonment echoes. Therapy a family right. August's growth. Bedtime stories co-authored. Sketches of dreams. September's harvest. Jamal's first drawing. Stick figures holding hands. Rainbow scribbles. October's wins. School runs. PDA queers. November's thanks. Table full. Jamal's laugh the grace. December's light. Solstice story. Jamal's. There's woven. January 2030. Anniversary decade, rooftop, city theirs. Isaiah's script. To Nate, Jamal, my masterpieces. February's fire. Series finale airs. Tears and cheers. March's spring. Adoption final. Family sealed. April's bloom. New canvas. 3 faces. Marked. Craving more. Through betrayals and brushstrokes, they repainted not perfect but profoundly human. In America's beating heart, Brooklyn's pulse, they found grace. Love as art, eternal, evolving. The knife from that first slash, mounted as sculpture scar turned symbol. Nathaniel's latest portrait. Isaiah and Jamal. Asleep entwined, colors vibrant, unmarred. Masterpiece, he whispers, signing the back. Isaiah stirs, smiling. Ours. And in that mark, the Crave fulfilled, heart repainted. Forever.